Hey guys, this is BBR. Welcome to my channel. So tonight is going to be a different kind of, video. I have done videos like this in the past, but I have stopped doing videos like this for, I think, almost 2 years. Or thereabout, yes, I think 2 years. So tonight is going to be a book review, and I'm really excited to talk about this book. Let me know your thoughts about my background, the books, the lit books in the background. But okay, so I'm really excited to talk about this book. And I think this book, when I found it, it was a game changer. So I'm going to even go into how I found it in the first place. Very weird. Um, but I think it found me. I think this book found me. I really think that God sent me this book in a time that I really needed it. So yeah, and it's just very interesting. I can't wait for you to see the book that I'll be talking about for us to like dig into it. So yes, if you haven't subscribed, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching this videos. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed this video. So yes, let's get into it. Tonight, I'm going to be sharing. This book is called 30 Days of Prayer for Your Employer, and the writer is Charleen Goombs. Charleen L. Goombs. Yes. Okay. Virtual backgrounds are very funny, so you never know what's going to happen. That's why I put it up against my face. So yes, this book 30 Days of Prayer for Your Employer. I know someone told me I was like, there's no way I'm paying for that employer, company, whatever, person, whatever. And that was exactly how I felt the first time I saw this book. But I'm going to be honest, this book is divinely ordained. Like, this is a God sent book. So I'll tell you a little bit about the writer. Her name is Charleen Goombs. She's a wife, she's a mom, she's a servant of God, and I believe she's worked as a paralegal or like in the legal space for a long time. And then she went through this period of employment for 2.5 years. And it was during that time that the Lord put the desire for her to write this book. Why is this book a game changer? Why do I keep saying that? It's a game changer. Okay, so the verse on the cover of the book, I'm going to hold it up again. This verse, see? It is James 5:16b because James 5:16 is two parts. The second part says the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous man availeth much. Why is this book a game changer? Well, for me, I'm going to speak for myself, and if you watch this video and you've read it before, I'd love to know what your thoughts were on the book. This book came at a time when I was working at a particular place, and every day I'd be so upset about something, someone, something would just get on my nerves. It was almost like once I got in there, I had to like really struggle to just, you know, keep being positive. And it was not like it was a perfect place because where are you ever going to find a perfect place? It was just like it was just so pressing. Like there was so much unrest at the place, and I started to feel really antsy. I started to feel really antsy, almost like, yeah, if I got out of there, it was going to be the answer, right? And then the funny part is that the Holy Spirit was impressing on me to pray. And naturally, I would pray. There was something I always would do, but I found that it got to a certain season that it got harder to pray, like harder to pray. And that was the time when this book came. And it's just interesting because sometimes, as believers or non believers, we can be almost upset with our places of employment, like almost like forgetting that they are supposed to also be places of blessing to us. Like we're supposed to be blessings at that place. The place is also supposed to be blessings to us because places of employment give us a platform for us to showcase our skills. We get to meet other people. As believers, it's a platform for us to be the light of the world among people who, some of them don't know Christ, some of them are falling out of faith, just different kind of people. It's also a place where we learn so much. Like we're constantly learning uh, when you are actively employed. So, but sometimes just because of the narrative of, you know, just because you pay my bills doesn't mean just because of that narrative, it's so easy to forget that you might not own your own business yet. You might not be a billionaire. You don't own Tesla, but still, where you are, you're supposed to be a blessing there. You're supposed to be blessed there. Um, Sometimes we forget. We get all up in our feelings and we forget. So, anyway, I was in such a season when 30 Days of Prayer for Employer came. So it's quite a small book. It's not like big. I think you can run through it quick, but it's not a book that's made to be run through quick. It's about 103, 104 pages max. So it starts out with this copy is actually autographed. It's so bad. It's so cool. It's an autographed copy of 30 Days of Prayer for Your Employer, and it's the publisher Geelong Press. So it starts out with endorsements, and then there's an intro, and then there's a table of contents, and there's so much. So basically, she starts off with some scriptures, the intro, and then she puts a whole page about why pray for your employer. It's a very interesting page. I'm not going to break it down here. Go get a copy for yourself. And then, there's acronyms, there's a thank you, and then there's a leading into prayer. There's a page that kind of leads into prayer. And then she goes ahead to write 30 days worth of prayers for our employers. Like it covers everything from finances to the conference room where decisions are made. Of course, you see why God definitely has to be in that conference room, to debt, to decisions, to humility, to integrity, to peace, knowledge, promises, temptation, healing, overflow, guidance, forgiveness, families, relationships. There is so, she covers everything. And I'm not going to lie, the first time I was watching, I was like, really? She did all of this for her employer? I knew it had to have come from God. There was no way. The irony of it was that she wrote this book during a 2.5 space where she was searching for work. She was out of work for 2.5 years. And it was during that time that the Lord called her to, and it's so amazing how God works, because that sounds just like Him. That sounds just like Him. When other people would be thinking, oh, she's not working, so she's not being productive, God is like, no, you're perfect right now, because you've been in this space for 2 decades-ish, and you've seen so much. Now you're actively looking for work. I want you to write this. And it's just, you need to get this book. No. This book, if you are in paid employment, you need to get this book. If you know someone who's getting into paid employment, or someone who's getting frustrated at work and is a believer, this book. I think one thing I would definitely say this book will do to you, except you don't use it, is that it will give you a certain kind of gratitude for even being in paid employment. I know people who have businesses are going to come for me, but I'm serious. Like, it will just remind you about the fact that the opportunity to go out and work is in itself a blessing, because some people want to do it and they can't, right? So yeah, I know that Yes. There's some quotes from her, and then there's there's this page where she says that she calls list of things that you're able to do because you're employed. Like, let me remind you that it is because you're employed that you can do so and so, and it's a very interesting page. And then she has a page at the back of the book, more things to pray for and against. But day 10 is a very interesting page in this book. It's called Temptation. Temptation. And basically, in the page, they're like prompts to pray for the owners to avoid temptation, to resist the devil. Their prayer points um, about the owners and just them not giving into things that they shouldn't give into. It's an amazing book. I don't want to take too much time, but it's such an amazing book that's not just praying for employees and the owners of wherever you work, but it's also praying for yourself. Um, this is definitely one thing that I always try to keep in mind is that the decisions that come out from many places where we work, they touch so many lives. So many people are affected. Whoever's in control of certain things is building it according to the specification. Meaning that if their hearts are dark, if they are people that will put evil over good, whatever they build will also project evil at some point. Because it's one thing to build a shelf, like just a regular shelf. But the more intricate the shelf builder becomes, the more it will take on the life of the shelf builder. That's just how it is. I can like sculpt something, but the more intricate I get about that statue or that whatever, it's going to take on a life from my thoughts. My thoughts will be projected on whatever I'm sculpting. And it's the same way with businesses, it's the same way with business owners. That's why you see sometimes some brands will like just go rogue, start to do things that are just terrible. Businesses will start to like cheat people of their hard-earned savings. They will raise prices to 100%, and you're wondering like, don't these people even care about what's going on? No, because their hearts are not surrendered. So when you're an employer, or sorry, an employee somewhere, and you are praying for where you work, it's a sacrifice. I'm not going to lie. Somebody's gonna be like, no, I will pray for myself. But the fact that you're in there, you're getting blessed from in there, I think it's worthwhile to sow the seed of prayers. Because you never know. You just never know. You never know if it's going to be your prayer that's going to still the voices in somebody's mind at work to keep them from coming to unalive everybody. You never know how far it will go. But the days are definitely evil from what we're seeing. And I think this book was made for such a time as this. So if you know someone who's really getting frustrated at work, very antsy, it's like they're coming up against a position and they're like, you know what, maybe I just want to quit. Maybe that's not the answer, because prayer is also a form, it's also a channel of transformation. When we pray earnestly, we allow ourselves to get caught up in prayer. In those moments, we are changed. In those moments, the Spirit of God is able to impress upon us, like, okay, I know this person is getting on your nerves, but maybe you need to try this instead. Maybe you need to be more patient. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. Maybe you should apologize. All of those, things that can definitely change the game. God knows what we are capable of because of our flesh. He also knows that if we are transformed, when we're transformed as we are transforming, that He can use us to do great works, even at work. So, yes, if you are in paid employment, I know there's so much pressure to quit your job and go start a business. I know. But since that has not happened for you yet, even there where you are, and this is also for me because I'm in paid employment too. Even where you are, you have um, an obligation to put in your best self and to also, constantly pray and believe for the well-being of the place that blesses you. So yeah, that's this video. 30 Days of Prayer for Employer. I'm not sure if it's still available on Prime, but it's not a long wait. So now is a good time to go order your own copy of Charleen Goombs' book, 30 Days of Prayer for Employer. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the book. Let me know your favorite chapter. Is it days because it's a 30-day book? But I would love to know which one really struck for you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Drop a comment. I love comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.